Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Saturday, July the 30th, and we're gonna go with the weekly technical video day, guys. We went over all the charts on the servers and all the pairs, and we got a pretty much a good idea what the market is doing. We believe that the market is gonna be buying the US dollar at the beginning of the week, and then the bounce that we're gonna get is will decide if we are in the biggest wave C or we are in the small wave B. In other words, let's take a look pretty fast right here to the US dollar. This is the US dollar in the 30-minute chart. If you guys see this move from here to here were the bounce that we were forecasting last week. Now that bounce can be completed either here or here. Very hard to tell. And we're gonna go with the safest wave to trading. Which way is that one? With the Elliott Wave Asian, sorry. Right here from this top, we see a 5-way move almost coming to the end. Now, do not matter which move it is, we're gonna get into this area. Now, if this is the proposed count when it's an A and a flat B wave, then the bounce is gonna get more less. Otherwise, what's gonna happen is that the bounce is gonna be minimum to here, it's gonna drop again before going higher. That's the two short-term scenarios that we got for the US dollar. Now, that's in the 30-minute chart. If we take a look at the 4-hour chart on the dollar, this is what we are expecting. I mean, having 5 wave here, that's telling us that the US dollar is gonna trade higher in at least one more leg to around 75 area, 75.50 area, which is the 61.8%. That's very clear. I have no question in my mind about it. Now, how we can see that in the whole market, that's what we're gonna do now. Let's move on first to oil. Oil in the 4-hour chart looks like it needs to reach around 93 area and possible 92 before bouncing higher. So that weakness in oil is gonna pump out the US dollar in general, and it's gonna take risk off. That's in oil, guys. The 1-hour oil looks like this. It looks like the C wave that we were proposing goes like 1 2 1 2 3 4 5. This is 3 and 4, and we are now in a wave 4 in oil with a drop to around 93 92 area in the 5th wave right there in oil. Now let's move on to the individual pairs. Let's move on, guys. On the individual pairs, we're gonna start with the S&Ps, and everyone knows the S&P is what we measure the risk of, most of the times, the correlation of the market with the dollar. Now, on the S&P, we got to the equal legs and bounce higher. I was expecting that bounce to happen around 1286, but we believe that C wave is not done yet. So, which level we're looking for? We're looking for 1281 or maybe towards 72 area. Now, this is in the 4-hour. If we take a look at the RSI, it's showing the 3 waves right here, as we expecting the same here, the same here. So the S&P, I believe, is about to turn higher and bullish, and that's when we're gonna start creating short dollar position. Now let's move on now. Let's move on now to the 1-hour on the S&P. And then this is when we have to take a look at it. If you guys see right here from the top, we got 1 2 1 2 1 2. So that's a nest of 1 2 and 3 lows, which means that we're gonna have 3 lows down here. We got 1 already, 2, and we need a 3rd low. if we take a look at the RSI, right here we got the divergence. Right here we do not have divergence yet, which is telling me that the S&P is gonna trade lower, possible to around 1272, and that round of weakness in the S&P is the one that the euro is gonna take lower to around 141, 141.50 area before bouncing higher. Even 141.80 can be the area. Think about it. That's on the S&P. So our look is that for the week, for the beginning of the week, risk is gonna be off again, meaning that the dollar is gonna be strong, oil is gonna be lower, S&P is gonna be higher for the beginning of the week. Now, let me show you the pound cable. Cable is showing what it looks to be almost a complete five-way structure, meaning that cable, this is wrong here, this is wrong, meaning that cable is gonna trade lower. Cable is gonna trade lower, guys, and that way we're gonna see a strong dollar. Cable is very clear. Let me show you the 4-hour chart in cable so you guys see that. Look, this is a very clear structure in cable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so far. I don't like the idea that the third way is pretty short compared to the one, but I cannot deny a five-way structure when the last high comes with divergence. So we changed this week some of the counts on the weekly and the dailies, and we have become a kind of more bullish or bearish on the dollar, bullish risk, because we believe that we are very close to a stage when the risk on is gonna be on. Now let's take a look at Europe in the same 4 hour. We see in a euro in the 4 hours like this, when we see that we maybe ended the first way and we're gonna go lower. Guys, do not need to be 41.85 can be the case, so keep that in mind. If this is the high and then the equalist come around 41.30, if we get, because I'm allowing a marginal new high to around 141, 144.27, that being the case, the equalist comes around, I believe that an area between 141 and 141.85 can create a huge bounce, and that goes pretty well with the whole market overall idea. Now let's take a look now at the dollar sweeps, which have been a huge mover in the last few days. We changed the count on the dailies and we believe that the dollar switch is getting close to be bounce higher. When the dollar switch is bouncing higher nowadays, that means that the risk is on. In other words, we believe that when he goes lower is when, it's unpredictable, to be honest with you guys, but we see here that he's getting close to a bounce in favor of the dollar, and the same bounce, that's what we need, that's what we're looking at it. And then that's gonna be a wave 4 on the dollar switch that is gonna take it against back to around the 80 area, 81 area, most likely 81 area, 80 area, and then it's gonna be soared again. We're seeing 75 on the dollar switch pretty soon. Another pair that is giving us the same structure is the dollar CAD. The dollar CAD, we see in two scenarios, guys. Very simple. The first one is ABC and a flat higher. That's called for a higher risk, a higher bounce on the dollar. And the second one is 1, 2, 3, a 4, like a type of ending diagonal. When we got here, and then it's gonna trade higher to around 96 area, even 96 area before going lower. Now in the 1 hour of the dollar CAD, we're laboring like a nest, possible nest. We got the reason why, and the reason why we're doing it like that is, I'm sorry about this, the reason that we're doing it like that is we're laboring like a 1 2 or AB 1 2 or CS, and then we believe that 96.15 is gonna be a good sell area, because that's when the trend lines come around, and also is the 1.618. If we see this bound from here and the dollar CAD get it here, and then we most likely are in what we call in the flat, and then the next move is gonna be to around the 96.50 and another leg, and that's gonna end the way C on the flat. Okay guys, so that's what we have for today. We're gonna be covering more on the seminar tomorrow. Thank you.